I would like to invite Darius Borisas, who is going to be a moderator for an upcoming discussion. Darius, welcome here. And Darius is going to represent all the guests who will be coming here on the stage.
Thank you, Sharunas. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. Today we will speak about Olympic sport and about business opportunities around the Olympic sport. And today we have 3 guests from 3 different Baltic countries. So let's introduce you. Karlis Lejnieks, advisor on sports matters for Minister for Education and Science of the Republic of Latvia. Karlis, hello. Well, we have Margus Kiiver as well, who is marketing director at Estonian Olympic Committee. Hello, Margus. And we have a third, our guest from Lithuania, Mantas Marcinkevičius, former director of the Lithuanian Olympic Foundation. Okay, guys, hello. Really nice to have you all here. First warm-up question. How do you feel about your country's representation in Paris? In general.
Who is starting?
Oh, I don't know. Who is the bravest?
Well, if I started, I'll just continue. I believe it was a fantastic performance by Lithuanian team in this year's Olympic Games. Despite all the turbulences and changes in our system of financing within the Olympic Committee in the previous years, I think the geopolitical situation might have affected the results as well, but in general, I think it was a very good performance for such a small country like Lithuania. 4 medals in Paris.
Estonia's mind?
From Estonia's
No
side.
medals.
No medals. Same to you. Starting well. Okay, yeah, from the result-wise, it wasn't so good. But from the emotion side, it was just great, because we managed to get some good places. We had a small team. We had like one of the smallest team during the times, as we have been participating in the Olympics as an independent country. It was like 25 people, not so much. And we managed to get so much good emotions, both on site and in Estonia. So from this side of view, it was okay. Yes, we were missing a medal, but I'm not so worried about it.
Last Olympic Games, we almost been in the same situation. So it's really important to participate, not to win, right, Estonia?
No.
Okay, and Latvia's?
Yeah, I think for us the performance itself, it was great. Also, I can agree with that. The emotions were there for us. I would say the previous games gave us a hope, and our national team in basketball did not qualify in the end, which kind of gave a little bit the wrong feeling. But itself, I think Paris was great after Tokyo. When it was COVID, Paris in general was great, and also the performance, even that also as a nation we did not manage to have any medals, but it was there, and yeah, the athletes were happy, and the games itself was fantastic. Yes, of course, and we had this great opportunity with the basketball national team when we lost in the last match against Brazil. Then we would have the biggest team. Now we had also, in a way, the smallest team with 29 athletes.
It's like this meme, you know, I feel you, Latvia. But yeah, your 3-on-3 basketball team participated. It was really a pleasure to watch it.
It's actually the last match, right?
Yeah, in a way, yes.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, so it seems that nevertheless the results the Olympic Games were really great. So let's start speaking business and let's jump into the status quo a little bit. We saw that the Olympics are really an incredible, huge scene for the sports around the world, right? And you even mentioned that the results are not, the first thing because it's all about the emotion and people and so on. I took a deep dive to a few National Olympic Committee budgets, such as Great Britain, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Ireland. One thing which I found in common is that revenue from sponsorships are at least 50% of the whole budget. So half of the budget, basically in all the cases, are coming from the sponsorships. Could you please elaborate what are the situation here in Baltics?
If I may, in Lithuania's case, it was not a very well played game this year, I would say, because the Olympics were in Europe, pretty close to Lithuania. It was the same time zone. It's not Japan, it's not the US, and we didn't grasp any of the possible benefits. No sponsorship deals for the NOC in the Olympic year. It's really, really strange. I'm not a part of the NOC at the moment, but still I'm very saddened by this. And no activations related to Olympics. They had a very small activation here in Vilnius, but it was just less than the Olympic Day event that we have every year. The total input by sponsors at the NOC's budget this year, to my knowledge, is less than 5% of the overall budget, and it's even less than the years before. And just to remind you that it was the Olympic year this year.
Okay, in Estonia we have a budget around 50 millions, not from the sponsors, the budget of the committee.
Total budget, right?
Yeah, and some of 700,000 comes from the sponsors.
So about 5% as well.
Yeah, and we have 8 sponsors, and I understand that it's kind of different from Lithuania, as we have agreements with a 4-year time period, and we are not looking any new or special sponsor for the Olympics. We have the sponsors who have both during this period winter and summer games, and basically the other years they are receiving youth Olympic games, Olympic festivals, etc., to where we are going to send our teams. So basically this is the situation, and at the moment, yes, we are open and we are looking for new sponsorships also for the next 4 years. And we have also put them in the different baskets. We have some sponsors which will end their cooperation in 2026. Some of them will end in 2024. Then we don't have any. Then we don't have all the sponsors in the same window, which is also good. And but still, I think it's not the main goal for us to get many sponsors for the Olympic Committee. For us, it's more important to get more money from the private sector to Estonian sport overall. And this is what we are doing. We are making sport more visible and in Estonia. So this is the main goal at the moment.
Okay, and Latvia?
Yes, we, as a formerly used to work for the NOC, I would agree with Estonia that yes, that visibility is one thing, and of course, it's Olympic cycle is never-ending story. It's like 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. For example, if the national basketball team would qualify, it would be a big story. Most likely, we would get extra funding from the private sector. But again, now the hockey team qualified for Milano Cortina. Now again, there's opportunity. So it's never-ending story. But at the end of the day, I would say. It is a hassle to get new sponsorships from private sector for the Olympic team, as you try to sell as a product. And also, it doesn't come in handy that we have different kind of restrictions regarding for the IOC top partners, that it kind of gives locally, for example, insurance.
Yeah.
They would be ready to dive in, but again, in the Baltic states, we don't have Allianz, for example. None of us have it.
We have.
You have it,
Yeah.
but in Latvia, we don't have it, for example.
They're not engaging though.
Again, so there are many complications, and then at end of the day, it's not that easy to provide extra funding from the private sector, but still, you're trying to sell the story, you try to attract new sponsorship, and it also depends on private relationships.
So the question still, what is the proportion of sponsorship in the Latvia's committee budget? let's say?
We're also changing the governmental support to more, from more to less, but I would say we had in this year from altogether from 600 to 700,000 coming from private sector. But it's not only, there's cooperations, but it's not only paid, it's also comes in agreements.
It's included as
Goods or so on.
Yeah. So your budget is around 12 million, so around 5% as well, right?
Yeah, it depends on the year of the government support, so the percentage is
Just
higher, lower.
to understand the auditoria, to understand what is the situation in our countries and how it's different, comparing to other countries. Yes, Mantas?
Just to clarify one thing, because I think the audience doesn't know this, and whoever else is listening needs some explanation about the Top Partners program. This is the IOC's program that is for the IOC's partner, that the International Olympic Committee's partners, and the NOCs cannot clash with their partners, with the IOC's partners. The NOCs are given some amounts of money from those top partnerships, usually not very big amounts, but then if the category is taken by the IOC, you cannot locally use this category. And the categories are really wide, like PNG, that's hundreds of products that you cannot work with at the NOC. So you are limited to what products and services you can work with. So the very good idea is to engage also locally with the top partners, but the problem is, like in Lithuania, when I tried to do it, the headquarters are based somewhere else in Europe, and it's hard to establish a connection. But the ones who do it successfully, because then you get extra money from the same partner that the IOC is benefiting from, and then the category is still good for you.
Okay, so we understand the situation that comparing to other countries, our sponsorship deals are really, really low, right? But I took a look at the TV metrics in all three Baltic countries during July and August when Olympic Games were happening. And I see that 10 most watched Channel 2 programs in August were all Paris Olympic Games. I see that Latvian channel, which translated Olympics, LTV7, ratings did double and even triple comparing to July and June. And 8 out of 10 most watched TV3 programs in July and August were Paris Olympic Games. And one game was basketball as well. So 9 of 10 were about sports, right? It seems that people like sports, and especially summer when TV doesn't have a lot of programs and so on. So there is a visibility, there is a people who could buy, this product. But where is the issue between popularity and sponsorship then? Why our local business are not investing to Olympic committees and do not see it as an opportunity to grow?
I can start with this. It's, for example, it's quite easy in Latvia. Public TV, they want to own the rights, LTV7, but there's commercial restriction. So basically, as the Olympic Committee, even that you can show, it's been shown the Olympic Games, Paris Games in Latvia, you can't do anything. And you can't even ask potential partner to to engage with you because you have no rights by law that you can promote your partner. So the only thing what you can do, it's basically try to get the fan zone. But again, then you need, for example, the idea was if the national team of basketball would qualify, there would be a fan zone where you can engage with your partners, but nothing to do with the TV commercial because it's restricted by law. And in a way, the government wants to have the rights, but they cut off completely the private sector, which comes from the TV rights. So it's quite simple in Latvia that this is something that opportunity it's wasted.
In Estonia, luckily, the company who has the Olympic rights is a private company, Tuvo Media, and as I have heard from them, they are very happy with the results, both viewership and the financial side. And maybe the problem is that they were offering also some airtime to the companies who are already supporting our committee, and our sponsor didn't took part of this offer. But I guess this is something that they are already receiving something from the cooperation with us, because we had kind of marketing campaign together. We were sharing all the materials with them, and we were engaging them with our campaign. So this worked well. But the question was why, if the sport is so popular, why is it? Why are the companies not ready? I can luckily disagree, because in Estonia, from this year we have been seeing lots of activity from banks, from Estonian banks, who are cooperating with different kind of sports organizations. So this is I guess a very good sign. Swedbank is coming back. Our both Estonian Bank, Coop and LHV also working closely with the organizations and putting some money to the sport. So this is already great.
Okay.
I think that the competition is very stiff in sports, and the sponsorships in Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, I'm pretty sure it's the NOC is definitely not number one to sponsor when it comes to sports. And also I agree with Karlis that a lot of restrictions, and what I faced working at the NOC was that the ones who were our sponsors were to obey all the rules and restrictions. And the ones who refused to become sponsors, they just did the infringements. They used the ambush marketing, and then they said, okay, we'll pay the fine if we get sued. But usually it's never the case, because we are only to do the monitoring in our country and not the prosecutions. It's within the IOC's range. So, yeah.
Okay. Right here in this stage, right, Maxims, the president of Virsliga, had a interesting idea to have pan-Baltic league of football, right, because of the market size. And he said that each of our markets are just too small, to contribute a great turnover. Maybe that could be a case, and somehow, to try to sell not even, to our local companies, but to go more abroad to Europe and try to sell as Baltics in cooperation with all three NOCs.
We had some joint projects in the past, me and Karlis and Margus, and they were successful ones, but the small ones on a very small scale. I believe that we should dig into this idea and work on it, and it could be successful, but it is not so easy to do.
Basically, then we will need a company which operates in all 3 Baltic countries. Then also the thing you said that
Swedbank, let's do.
yeah.
Microsoft, or Apple, whatever. There are like a lot of companies, right?
Yeah, but then the other thing that you said that maybe we can team up and go to the Europe, or the company wants to go to the Europe, because then we have like support from all the 3 Baltic countries. This is also the possibility. But if we have the company, let's say a local company, which is situated, I don't know, it doesn't matter, in Lithuania, in Latvia, in Estonia, it has to be the similar marketing strategy for the whole Baltic states. Then this will work. Then, okay, we have agreed that we will support all the 3 Baltic Olympic committees, or I don't know, some sport federations. We had with Karlis also some discussion about the Air Baltic. The Air Baltic was going to go to the stock, not at the moment.
No, they're gonna do IPO.
Oh, okay. And they were looking for the visibility, and the Olympic Games were a very good thing for them. And as I understand, Latvia is working with Air Baltic.
Yeah, they were.
But we didn't reach to the agreement. So I don't know, maybe they are offering to the Latvian market more, or the Latvian committee?
No, again, also depends. We tried this year to do with the banking and with Air Baltic that we were proposing, as it was my initiative, as the headquarters were in Riga. So I came up to the offices with that we're gonna represent all the whole Baltic states. But in the end of the day, it's just, yes, okay, we didn't achieve for the Paris Games, but nevertheless, maybe Milano Cortina is it's in 1.5 years. So there's again, it's very limited time to achieve that, and I completely agree that in future it has to be at least a try with the national Olympic teams, that we can find common solutions with common sponsorship deals, and to find common goals that we want to achieve, and also the company wants to achieve in Baltic states, not only locally. Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, as you just mentioned yourself, is fragmented.
For me, the sport is mostly emotion, the emotion and the national pride. And it's very important for the company who is situated, for example, in Estonia, to support Estonian athletes if we are talking about Olympic team. This is our national pride. We're going to win some medals from the Milano Cortina, and this is something we would like to do. And this is something which adds a story, what Karlis was speaking about, the story that we as nation together will go to the Olympic Games. It's not very easy for Estonian company go to the Lithuania or Latvia and say we as a nation, because the company comes from a different country. This is maybe the small problem, and yes, I would like to do some Baltic cooperation, but during my time in different organizations, I have seen so many Baltic cooperations which didn't work. The reasons were different.
But I'm pretty sure, or at least from my point of view, I wish for Latvia to be successful and strong at the Olympics. I want Estonia to be successful and strong. And together, I believe we can achieve more, and we have common history, like the Baltic Way from Vilnius to Riga to Tallinn. It's also the common projects, and cooperation could be the way to achieve more.
Okay, so basically, yeah, it could be a way how to handle it. Maybe let's take a look to Paris 2024, and what were the most significant commercial opportunities that the Paris 2024 Olympics created for the Baltic states? Did there any?
We saw some activations from the IOC sponsors. I believe P&G did something in all three countries. There were some concerns with the company regarding to the Ukrainian war, but they still activated themselves in the Baltics. This is their freedom. Also, I understand Samsung did something here. So basically, this is something the extra money Olympic Committee or the athletes are receiving from the activations. Like I said before, in Estonia, we didn't sell any special sponsorships to the Olympic team or to the Olympic Games. It was just part of the agreement we have already with our sponsors.
But were there some inquiries regarding the possible sponsorships?
No, it was before, and when we reached to the money, it ended.
But maybe you could elaborate a little bit more. Maybe there's marketing managers, which are really interested into the sports. In what ways, Baltic businesses could be presented to how they could benefit from the global exposure of the games?
Same as I mentioned before. If they have some product, if they have something they want to sell maybe in Europe, I think the Olympic Games is a great platform to go there. But this means the company and the Olympic Committee will need to have a very strong cooperation, very strong strategy to how to be visible in the Paris, because when we were in Paris, there was so much marketing from the IOC partners, from the games partners, from the partners of Olympic teams. So to be visible there, it's a great challenge, but it's possible.
Yeah. So the activation by the top partners of the IOC in Lithuania, they were also visible. Samsung, as you mentioned, I think Toyota and even Allianz did something. What I saw. But one thing that most of the NOCs in Europe did, some of them did it successfully, some not so much, was the National Olympic Team houses in Paris. So it was a great opportunity. As once again, because it's Europe, it's close and it's the same time zone, and we have some Lithuanian producers who are in Paris already, and the governments, the foreign affairs ministries, the embassies were also very much interested in working together on those projects. And I have different data from different National Olympic Committees. Some of them profited, some of them not so much, but overall result was still beneficial as a project of the country's awareness, because they managed not only to show their national team, but also their products and goods and services, and just to promote their country there in Paris.
Just to add, I would say that it's vice versa, because IOC has to promote that the games are a great platform for the countries to show it, and it comes also the other way. So whenever the IOC will work it, that it's a great thing to have it and to show it, then the companies, the bigger companies, will ready to invest money to show themselves. And for us, as for the nations in general, you have to in the end of the day, you have to believe that it's a good platform to show off. Because if nationally, locally, you don't believe it, they will not invest in you. If they believe it and they are ready to buy the story, at the end of the day, they will invest money in it. So it's not that easy that to show it off, but you have to believe it, because I believe it. It's a great chance to show it, because we also had a huge project to have a Latvian house in this Olympic houses village, where you have per day 75,000 people walking through, and you have the chance to show your producers, your house, your idea of Latvia or Lithuania or Estonia, just for us it didn't work it didn't work out, but you have to show it, or you believe it or you don't believe
But
it.
there is an opportunity for local businesses to be presented there, right?
Yeah, but it also has to come from political view. It doesn't only come that the Olympic Committee wants to show the nation there. It also has to come from the government. Let's say Estonia is a great example where Olympic Committee, the NGO, works tight as, I don't know, twigs together with the ministry, which in Latvia some time ago it's not the case there. Hopefully in the future we have the same situation in Estonia, and Lithuania also have the same one. It's just everybody has their own situation.
Okay, the Olympic houses. This is the good example because if we are talking about Baltic cooperation, then this is something where we can do something together, and this is something where we can have a company which operates in all three countries, and this is how we can introduce the product, the service, whatever it is, to the people in the games, because during the games there are many possibilities, but there are also many restrictions. So this means if we have the Olympic uniform, the race gear athletes are wearing, there can be only two logos. One is from our side, Team Estonia. The second one is Nike, which is the products logo, and that's it. We can show any logos, anything. We can show
So
nothing.
basically, Nike should pay you, right?
Nike is paying. Nike is our partner.
Okay.
But yes, but if we are doing it with the Olympic House, like as I understand, Austria is doing, and there are the ski resorts are paying the money, so they are basically introducing the opportunities to go to ski in Austria. This is the opportunity. If we are going to do some cooperation with the Olympic houses, and then we can have one or two sponsors who are working in all three Baltic countries. This is the opportunity.
Just to come back to your direct question, because most of the answers were further away, the overall impact of the games, I think, was quite modest, and it was about like national pride and the interest from the public, general public, maybe increased sales of the wear with the national branding, but I think that was it.
I think the impact was from this side good because, like you told us, the viewership numbers. And also in Estonia, there are many places where people were watching live TV in the open area, like thousands of people sitting.
Fan zones, right?
Yeah, fan zones, drinking beer and cheering Estonian athletes. But this is something that brings the visibility to the sport. And that's how we can say how great the sport is. How great is the emotions that the sport is I believe the only area where one moment, 1 second can change the whole country. You lose.
You suffer.
Yeah. You lose, you suffer. Yeah. I think it was during the 3-on-3 basketball. There were some happy faces in Lithuania, not so happy faces in Latvia.
It could have been both happy faces.
You can remember
In Estonia, there were happy faces.
You can remember Noah Lyles and 100-meter final, right? When there's even no second, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and some provocation from my side, the question. This year, some Lithuanian company, which is called RespSense, so they did reputation insights from their analysis. They did analysis in worldwide media, right? And apparently sports is number one when it comes to general awareness of Lithuania. So the general awareness of Lithuania, 7% why people do know Lithuania is from the sports itself. So this is the main reason, the first reason, the biggest reason, right? So maybe the sport or, for example, local committees don't need even, sponsors. Their sponsor should be government itself, because it's the biggest prize for a country, and it's the biggest stage possible in the world for ourselves, Maybe that's could be our biggest sponsor, as it is, but even bigger.
It doesn't matter. Every person will have a different answer on this one, whatever it comes by awareness and pride and so on. I think, in my mind, at least how I've been operating, it has to be balance. Of course, government should be involved in this process, but it doesn't only comes to end of government, because at end of the day, then everybody wants to just government. Everything's gonna be by government. No. Business is business. Government is doing their ways regarding agendas, political things, and so on. I think the best recipe, it's in balance, that you, of course, ideally, which is tough for us to achieve, is that it's 50-50. But I would still believe that it should be like this, that the private sector does their part, and we can really achieve that they believe in the story and they're ready to invest money, not to pay money, invest. Because at the end of the day, what we try to achieve by this high performance sport, it's coming back, not awareness, that we want to give the impulse for the society to be more active. And on a daily basis, as I don't know, I'm doing sports 4 times a week. Super happy about it. That I would want that all the kids in the schools, they do more sports. Also the adults who drink beers, the next day they're able to do sports. So this is a very, very large question, that high performance sports, which is Olympic Games, it gives impulse, and they give the story to the bigger society to be active, and end of the day also spend money in sports.
And less spend in social security, right?
Yeah, health ministry would disagree again on it.
I totally agree with Karlis on this one. It's both should be onboarded, the NGOs and the business, and the key word here is investment, because unfortunately in Lithuania, what I hear is we wasted that and that amount of money on those athletes, and they did not bring any medals back home. That's not the way to look at it. If you look at it as an investment, and it's not the medals that you must count, but the happier society, then everybody wins.
A happier society, this is something
Okay,
very
healthier.
Before Margus, like what I liked Slovenia, and we mentioned Iceland, it's like the Olympic committees, like for example Estonia, is basically in charge of sports, so they have the strategy that they want to achieve. I don't know, 70% of society are doing sports regularly. Great achievement, but what we try to achieve with the national Olympic teams and the national teams itself, it's that we can follow them, and they give us a great opportunity to bring more people just to be more active.
And high-performing athletes, should they be influencers, let's say?
They are already.
Yeah,
But
they should be.
Are they really?
Yeah.
For example, comparing to other influencers?
To be honest, to me, athletes are the strongest influencers than any normal ones. Okay, there's an influencer. The definition of normal I cannot tell you, but the athletes itself, their product themselves, by name and surname, whatever they do, in nowadays they're definitely, and they could be much bigger products than the organization themselves and clubs, and even sometimes sport.
So basically, I think we are as a sport. We are competing with music, with theater, with any other activities. We are competing for the people's free time, both participating and watching sport. And this is something where we need our athletes, our sportsmen as influencers. So basically, if we take popular singer and popular athlete, for me, they're both entertainers.
Exactly. Right.
And the difference is that the singer will go on the stage every weekend, even twice during the weekend. And if I take one of our athletes, Rasmus Mägi, he's doing in Estonia 2 competitions during the year, and internationally mostly 10 competitions. So basically the entertainers are more visible, and I believe that the sportsmen, the athletes should be more visible, and that will help us to get also, like I said before, the sport bigger.
But I think the sponsorships and that brand awareness which business raises exactly does that. They raises athletes brand awareness because they use it. They use him, in their commercials and everywhere. So basically, it's a cooperation which is necessary in order to achieve what you just said.
Yeah, and we are now reaching to my favorite topic, which is personal brands, but we don't have today time for that.
Exactly.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Maybe for
Mantas,
later.
last quote.
Just a very, very small one on the influencers. So the next step to be taken, I am sure, is the youth athletes influencers. In Lithuania, there are very few, if there are any at all. And this is the part of the population that is facing now lots of distractions, and they are being pulled into by various not such good things. So we really do need young athletes to be influencers as well. That would help us a lot. And we don't have time. We do have time for questions.
That's basically it. So very thank you. And we have 5 minutes for questions from auditoria. So Šarūnas.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your times. Did you guys manage to come to a conclusion which country performed the best at Paris 2024?
The Baltic states.
Great. Mantas, there is a question for you. And it sounds, if you were asked to give an expert opinion on 2 team sporting achievements, what would you rate higher? A team that finished second in the top division twice, or a team that finished third in the second division?
It's a provocative question, and I would prefer not to make fun out of myself. And I will just say that the top division is for sure is higher, so that's the better team.
Okay, right. Question for all of you guys. Do your countries have some preferred sports for financing, or you are supporting all the sports or associations the same way?
There's criteria how you get supported. So most likely the bigger sports, bigger participation, better results, you get more funding. That's it. It's simple as that. I think it goes for...
Yeah, agree, because we have regulations from the state, because we are sharing away the state money. So this is very easy.
Okay, no any preferred sports?
It comes by participation and results. So unfortunately, at the end of the day, if you're popular sport and you're succeeding, like Lithuania, let's say basketball, which is the more common thing, and for us it's basketball and hockey, then you get more funding.
Yeah, in Estonia, it's I think it's athletics which gets most of the money, but we don't prefer one sport to the other. No.
Well, in Lithuania, it's swimming, basketball, and athletics. I'm pretty sure these top 3 by the money. but it's connected. I mean, like if it's good results, then it gets popular, or if it's very popular, and even if it doesn't have very good results, it gets the money in the other ways.
Great. Okay. Thank you, Karlis, Margus, Mantas, for your participation, and thank you, Darius, for moderating this discussion. Thank you, guys.